Okay, I think I'm doing this correctly after embarrassingly talking to an empty screen for a while. Or talking in front of an empty screen for a while. Yeah. Yeah, that looks right to me. Okay, cool. Now we're gonna actually do a draft. That was so funny. I like pulled up the stream to have the chat next to me, and I realized, oh man, I have been talking to nobody, or I've been talking in front of the screen to set up the stream. This stuff is going to happen when you're brand new. Okay. Cool. That looks like how I wanted it to look. There's a delay that I can't figure out. I don't know how to get past that part, but I think that's just going to be what it is for a bit. Like I said, learning process. If I could pull anything better than the stupid 6 spot, it's 6 to 9 has been where I'm mostly drafting, or in the back third of the draft. It's not going to be 1 or 2. Come on. 2. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude! I have very few, very very few. I think I have like 5 to 6% Bijan and Gibbs right now. Okay, so this is exactly what I was talking about on the last stream, right? Ted is in the chat. Ted and my mom. That's who's gonna probably catch the stream. He has been roasting me a little bit over having George Pickens as a top 10 running back. I completely understand. I don't know, dude. I started to really look at his logs. Like, he pushed back hard enough that it caused me to really look at Pickens' game logs. And I think I probably do need to keep Collins above him. I think that's like a little more responsible. I'm still really excited about Pickens in the slot and the way they're saying they're redesigning the offense for him. So I still love him at the 2-3 turn, but I do think Collins needs to be above him. So maybe we'll see if we can get that role here. Yeah, we will see. Pickens isn't an RB, you donkey. Yeah, I'm sorry, wide receiver 1. I don't know, dude. If Pickens gets the slot role and that dude, like, if they decide for some reason to target him like 140 times out of the slot, it would just be nuts. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too excited because the Pickens drafting went so well last year. Okay, so we get a Bijan. Can you enlighten us on the George Pickens cycle? That's a meme that you sent that I am not familiar with. I vaguely remember it does not go well every few years. I don't know, dude. He's playing for. I guess I would have said that about Ayuk. He's playing for like $200 million if he signs like a 5-year $40 million deal, or $150 million. You can't help but feel like that must keep you on the straight and narrow for a while. Okay, so wide receiver. I don't want to take Brock Bowers here. I really don't. Maybe I do take my first Brock Bowers share. In this draft, I don't know. We'll throw him in the back there. That's sort of the wide receivers. That's actually basically the order I would like them in. And then obviously, if any of the running backs come back around, that would be incredible, but seems pretty unlikely. Probably go 2 wide receivers. It's probably my favorite follow-up with Bijan. It's just really hard. Nico Collins has the best. I was saying this at the beginning of the last stream when I was embarrassingly talking in front of the screen to set this stuff up. Nico Collins has the best schedule for wide receivers this year. He's averaged 1,000 yards a year for 3 seasons, and the most games he's played during that time were 15 games. Like, I think Nico Collins is a really safe pick, so I think I'm gonna have to move him above Pickens in my rankings. Yeah, he profiles a lot like T. Higgins, and you saw that in the second half of last year when he was like a wide receiver 3 for multiple games with CD Lamb toward the end of the season. He kind of torched you a few times when like I had him going. I made the playoffs in 12 out of 12 leagues. And my George Pickens teams had a hard time, man. They really did. And especially because I paired George Pickens with Tedero McMillan at the 4 or 5 turn a lot last year, and that was just rough, dude. So I don't know. So I think I need to move George Pickens off of the 1-2 turn. Again, I'm really resistant to taking Brock Bowers this high. I don't know what it is about it. It does not feel good to me. Maybe I just need to get over it and start taking him because he does project similarly to these guys. I just, especially in best ball, I feel like if you're taking the best score from 3 tight ends in best ball, you don't need to take a premium guy. But everyone seems to, dude. All the sharp, everyone seems to be taking Brock Bowers this high. So maybe I just need to not keep thinking I know better than everyone else. I don't know. Drake London, though, it's not close. Under no circumstances would I take Brock Bowers or Drake. So he goes. Okay, so I'm gonna get Drake London and Nico Collins. I think for redraft, by the way, I think this is how you should play. Now in redraft, what I would, oh my god, Drake London following that. Now Drake London and Bijan I don't like, but dude, I'm not gonna leave Drake London on the board, especially because we might get Nico Collins on the comeback here. In redraft, what I would immediately be doing is running out to pull up at probably a Josh Jacobs here. Should I do that? Do I want to keep so I can just pick 2 wide receivers that I like at the turn? Jeremiah Love or Josh Jacobs? Go Josh Jacobs. I know it's high. I know it's way above ADP, but I really like the. I think he's going to be a 2-3 turn later in the year. I think if he plays all year, he's a true 3-down workhorse, 16 to 18 touchdowns. Like, I'm not worried about it. And now we can go ahead and crush whatever 2 receivers we want at the turn. Or if Colston Loveland falls, if Colston Loveland's there in the early 5th, this is where I will take Loveland shares. I had my percentage going down a little bit at one point. I was like 11 or 12% Loveland, only taking him in the 5th round. Again, I'm resistant in best ball to take premium tight end because I feel like when you're taking the best score from 3 tight ends every week, you can kind of get some semblance of mid-range tight end 1 production. I also just think it's objectively true. McBride, Bowers, and Loveland, and probably Warren too, and probably Kraft even, give you like a ceiling that you just can't access on a weekly basis with other guys. So, Flock was saying in his stream tonight that I thought was really interesting is McBride is going above above Bowers in every other format but underdog. Thought that was noteworthy. All right, so I'm probably going to take a last round Tua. Fucking disgusting. It's probably just going to be what it is. Let's see if we can't get one of these premium dudes. Oof, Luther Burden. I'd rather not, but I mean, I will if these guys are all gone. See if we can get one of those guys to come back to us. That would be awesome. And move Loveland all the way to the back of that. But yeah, so for your redraft leagues, that's what I would encourage people to do. And look, if you want to go really safe and really boring and just lock it in, because to me, if you have one of these 2 guys, you kind of have to screw things up for it to go south. Take whatever running back you like most of Love. Take, all the way from Love through, I'm trying to think of how far the tier extends. Probably to Jacobs, probably to Kyron. Some people are going to have ETN up there. Some people are saying if Kamara retires, ETN goes up to the 2-3 turn. He did not look good to me on like a individual player basis last year. I don't think I would take him up that high. Whatever running back you're comfortable with, though, here's how I think you don't screw up this pick in redraft. I would take Bijan Robinson or Jahmyr Gibbs. At the turn, I would take whatever running back too. Kyron, Jacobs, Love, and then I would take Josh Allen. And for half PPR, Yahoo, 1 flex, 2 wide receivers, right? So it's not a terribly deep roster. Dude, at that point, you're giving yourself like a weekly floor of 60 to 80 points from your 3 position players. Then just hammer wide receiver for 4 rounds. And that's it. I think you're, if you do that even moderately competently, I think the Bijan and Gibbs rosters are going to run leagues this year. I really do. Unless my little counter strategy of, trying to go running back, and get 2 running back ones works. That's how I think we're gonna fight back. Okay, so how should we order these guys? I like Garrett Wilson more than Tetaroa. I like Terry more than Garrett Wilson, but I've been taking him so much. We'll spread it out a little bit. Hopefully Cam Scattaboo goes here. I will take. Okay, I was going to say I would actually take Montgomery if he fell back. Auto pick in round 3, and you can just have 2 tight ends. Yeah, Yeah, I think that's fine. If you want to go elite tight end and route, see for best ball, I think that's what you should do. My thing is for redraft, Josh Allen has a 55 to 60% playoff rate. If you want to take a guy that's actually going to substantively swing your, positional advantage and the edge and all this shit, ooh, Garrett Wilson this deep would be sick. I'm happy with Terry too, but Garrett Wilson would be sick, and I might be able to get Jaden Daniels at the 6-7. Oh God, that Jaden stack is calling to me, but no, we're gonna take Garrett because I think that's a pretty cool. That is like 4 or 5 turn Garrett, um, in best ball. Yeah, dude, we're gonna make a sick wide receiver room here with Jamison Williams or Devonte Adams on the back end, and it'll give us a good chance to have a stack here. But so this is my problem with elite tight end for redraft, not for best ball. For best ball, it is different because those guys might go league-ending nuclear, especially Bowers. In redraft, right? The argument would be that, like when I was taking Travis Kelce in the 3rd round during his big breakout year, there was a point in me and Ted's home league, and like I was only playing 1 or 2 leagues at that time. I didn't lose a game for like 18 months in that league. I won the championship and then won for 3 months straight after 18 months, 18 weeks of fantasy football straight because Kelce was that big of an edge in the 3rd round, right? And I think people keep thinking they're getting that kind of edge with Bowers or McBride in redraft. To me, the only player that's actually proven to be that big of an edge was Travis Kelce during that breakout year and Josh Allen. So if I want to have a player that is genuinely going to give me like a 55 to 60% chance to make the playoffs every year, and then give me an extra 10 to 15 point ceiling over my opponent positional advantage, I'm just going to take Josh Allen in the 3rd round. And I don't care if it's at the 2-3 turn. Like that's just what I prefer to do. The counter would be that spike weeks from quarterbacks are a lot easier to find than spike weeks from tight ends, and elite tight ends just spike week. Yeah, Ted is a big McBride guy, and again, rightfully so. He averaged 18 points per game last year. If you didn't wonder who their quarterback was going to be by week 18, if they weren't projected as one of the worst offenses in the NFL, McBride should be going at the 1-2 turn. So I'm completely fine with it. For me, for some reason, it's really hard to stomach. I don't know why. I think it's because I look at this roster and like, this is just such a cool start to me. I don't like Bijan and London on the same team, but London slid and I had to take him. I think you block yourself out from some of those things. And yeah, you run the risk of getting Carson Beck at the end of the year. And like Ryan Heath is very bearish on Bowers this year. And part of it is because of the corollaries between having a rookie quarterback and tight end production. The tight end production suffers greatly with a rookie quarterback. The other thing that they're kind of concerned about, which I think is interesting and valid, is if they just start putting a corner on McBride. If there's no wide receiver threat outside for the Raiders, they're just going to put the team's best corner on McBride and let Jalen Naylor and Trey Tucker run routes against their 2nd and 3rd corner. So I don't know. I'm just a little concerned that he can be schemed out of the game. I really am. So this will sting a little bit. Because I took Garrett Wilson over Terry, who I kind of like Terry straight up, but I thought the ADP slide on Garrett was really cool there. I think I got good ADP value on both of those, and I know Josh Jacobs I reached on, but I don't think that's going to be a reach come closing line. But this will hurt a little bit. I could have stacked Jaden Daniels with Terry this late if Jaden makes it back to me. That does stink. That I would have liked to do. I will actually take Tyler Warren if he's here. Parker Washington, Mav. I do kind of like the elite. Do kind of like the idea of getting an elite quarterback here, even if he's unstacked. Dude, that's like offensively cheap priced for Jaden Daniels to me. Oh, okay. Actually, I'll take Tyler Warren in the basically 7th round. That's a very good. I've been trying to get Tyler Warren. I'm just picking. Okay, so Parker Washington would be ideal here. Okay, I'm gonna take the Parker Washington value. Maybe we get Trevor to come back around. Unlikely. No, 97. No, we're not gonna do that. Okay. Really happy with, dude, that's like some nice fallers. That's a couple night. That's like, yeah, I'm very happy with that. I think this is a pretty unique roster too. we will anchor our quarterback room, certainly with Trevor Lawrence if for some reason he falls. But if not, this will be a Matt Stafford roster. We'll get Trevor Ferguson, or we'll get Terrence Ferguson later. But yeah, so tight end's just weird because, and then I don't know what you do with this sort of year to year information about the fact that round 6, 7, 8 tight end has been a really negative thing for any redraft roster. You're not supposed to be it's supposed to be great or late. And when you look at playoff rates and championship rates in redraft 12-person leagues, they really suffer if you're taking that tight end in the 6, 7, 8 range. But this year, I think there's really good, dude, you can get Tucker Kraft in the 6th round. You can get Tyler Warren in the 5th round, but that's a little different. He's still in the great range technically. But the two that like the fantasy bros are really hating on are Harold Fannin Jr. and Sam Laporta between the 7th and 8th round. Harold Fannin Jr. I think projects as the clear lead receiver on Cleveland and was really great last year. He had like one of the better rookie seasons ever. And then Sam Laporta, dude, he gets the Drew Petzig tight end scheme that made Trey McBride a fantasy god. And you can get him in like the 8th round, 9th round, 10th round on here almost, like 9th round. I don't know. I have a hard time passing that up. I think they're both pretty good priced, but I also think they don't project so much better than the guys you can get like 20 to 40 picks later that maybe you should just let it go. We'll see. I'm kind of like debating all that. That's going to be the tight end article I'm working on. So these are the two guys that I have like a mini tier break on. I would be really happy with either of these guys as your running back 3. I think that's a really good price. I think Chris Godwin's mispriced down here. I think if Justin Herbert falls, I would take an unstacked Justin Herbert there. Could go with a Brock Purdy, Ricky Pearsall stack here. Or could try for it. No, okay, we'll try to get hard calls. Well, there goes Purdy anyway. Okay, that was kind of what I was toiling over. Monangai over Rico. I don't know, dude. I think Rico Dowdle is McCarthy's guy. He drafted him in Dallas. He made him a starter in Dallas. He talked him up in Dallas, and then he went and got him. Yeah, I think that is true though. Okay. Dude, I want the upside swing on Corum, and I'm gonna take Stafford. So there's a little bit of correlation there. I don't know. Ted's a huge Monangai guy. He's saying that in the chat, and I think that's completely valid. Oh God, so this kills me. I'm gonna take Stafford. Okay, good. I was gonna say, but Pearsall here has really been one of my favorite picks, but I want at least a little bit of correlation going. Say Corum gets the role, he catches passes, then you have the Devontae Adams touchdown stack. I do think this is going to be hilariously enough a Tua roster at the end, or maybe a Geno Smith roster because of Garrett Wilson. But yeah, Ted is really big on Monangai. I think that's valid. I think Monangai, it's weird. I actually think there's like some chance that he wins a percentage of the role from Swift. I don't think Swift is just the locked in 65-70% touch guy. He could go every other drive. They could decide he's better on the goal line. So Monangai is kind of interesting because I think there's like real upside there. But to me, it's like when you have a double hero running back, I keep saying this, I said it in the last draft. I like these guys where if they hit, you win your league. And if Blake Corum were to hit on his upside, if Kyron Williams gets injured, you're winning your league when you have a Bijan Robinson, Josh Jacobs, Blake Corum start, especially in redraft. So that's kind of what I'm chasing. But it's, I think there's a good argument either way there. I'd like to get another quarterback, one with actual upside here. I love Kenny Gainwell and Rachaad White here, but usually not when I have 3 running backs I'm happy with. Juan Dale would be a huge pick. That would be a big one for me if I can get him. I actually do like Pittman too. Yeah. So like Ted's saying, Corum is a lottery ticket. That's what I'm... So again, right, this is already going to be one that we will... I don't know. Would Monangai be... I don't think Monangai is better than... I don't think Monangai in Chicago as the starter would be better than Corum on LA as the starter. I think if Corum's in LA as the starter, dude, we're talking like nuclear league ending upside. But yeah, but Corum did do, but Manungai was like, yeah, I don't know. It's a good debate. It's a good debate. Um, but so that's also like again one of the sticking points that me and Ted have been getting. I think it's a great conversation. Um, do you like J.K. Dobbins or Brooks when you're getting around pick 100? And to me, it's really interesting because do you want 6 to 8 rock solid RB2 weeks with RB1 upside? Because Dobbins is going to give you those as long as he's healthy and as long as he's out there. That's what he is. Or do you want a guy that could be a zero or could be a complete hero? I have a hard time saying like that one of those is wrong and one of them is right. I think it's just a roster construction thing. But Brooks to me is tantalizing, right, dude? If Brooks gets the starting job, what did you get? A 15 point per game in half PPR, a 12.5 point per game in half PPR running back in the double digit rounds almost, or the triple digits and picks. It's very appealing. Okay, what stacks do we have here? None. None. I can try to get Daniel Jones later. I can just take a dude with some upside, Malik Willis, but this is a little early. I don't want to reach on Willis. This might be a Casey Concepcion, which again is just a pick that turns Ted's stomach. I totally get it. Yeah, I'm going to take Casey here. You know what? He's not stacked at all. Just going to get Baker, build out the quarterback room a little bit. That opens up Kate Otten and Terrence Ferguson to stack on the back here. Actually, that's really cool. We will try to get, let's see, what number can we gun for that? We'll reach on that a little bit. 170 and 191. It's going to be a stretch, but we can get one of them at 170, the other one at 191. We'll take Kate Otten a little early and see if Ferguson gets down to us. So that's cool. Don't have to worry about tight end. But yeah, so at some point, me and Ted will do these streams together. This is just like shooting them off on my laptop. But we'll get the whole thing set up where we're both on here talking, and we'll have a good back and forth about how you parse these running backs in like round 8, 9, 10. I actually think it's really important this year. I think there are going to be people who like create just monsters of rosters because they get that right, and I want to keep getting that right. The year that Chase Brown went off, me and Ted were laughing all the way to the bank because we had loads of like Chase Brown in the round 10. We actually had a lot of Rico Dowdle in round 10 or 11 that year. And if you guys remember that was so wild. All of a sudden you get like 2 high-end RB2s that you're plugging and playing. I think that stuff really, really will shape leagues this year, especially with running back pushed up so much, because there's going to be people that then tack those on like our free Tendies Fantasy $100 leagues or double flex. Dude, if you hit a double hero RB and then you hit 1 or 2 of those running backs in the later rounds and you're starting like 2 top 6 running backs and 2 top 24 running backs in your slot, it's over. It's over. So, I don't know. I'm going to be chasing it all summer. Right now, my favorites are Corum, Gainwell, and Brooks. Those are who I'm picking in there. I think if Dobbins stays healthy, he'll be a league winner without a doubt. Okay, so Shaheed goes. I'm actually glad to see Shaheed going higher. He's really good. He should be going higher. I want a okay. Well, we have Baker actually, so this is going to be a McMillan spot if he gets there. If not, we'll pull one of these upside swings. We'll go for it. I like Cooper Jr. I think you're getting a first round wide receiver in the 140s, 150s range. I think that's a pretty good shout if you're down there. But yeah, and then again, a big point of F word. I'm trying not to swear on stream that much. F man, there goes Jalen McMillan that early, before Stephon Diggs, Travis Hunter, and Omar Cooper. Okay, we'll take whichever one of these guys is there. What does this roster need? Well, it's got. We'll take Travis Hunter because maybe like Parker Washington doesn't go off one week because Travis Hunter does. All right. Yeah, Ted's top five exposures: Hubbard 57%, Pearsall 57%, Shaheed 57%, 42% Rashi Rice, 42% Trey McBride. Um, can't argue there. Do we want Daniel Jones on this roster? Yeah, we'll take that, and that'll fill out our room. That's like a little more investment in quarterback than I like doing, but I don't know, dude. I was watching that $500 draft with Flock, and it seems like a lot of the big money guys do go three quarterbacks. So we'll do it, and we'll take some cheap tight ends in the back end. But yeah, that's another. It's going to be a sticking point of ours all summer. We're going to trash each other's takes on it, and that's as it should be. Um, that's another thing for how do you deal with that tier of Jadarian Price, Chuba Hubbard, Tony Pollard, Jalen Warren, and I think there's one other guy in there. The other guy, well, Rico Dowdle actually in redraft is up that high. But how do you deal with that tier of like upper end RB3s with RB2 upside? Um, for me, it's really I don't like Jadarian Price because I think his production is much more likely to be front loaded than back loaded with Charbonnet coming back, even if Charbonnet is coming off an ACL. So I can't pull the trigger on Price. Chuba Hubbard, I think, actually projects really nicely in Dayball's system. Uh, they're going to feed the running back. They should be a much better offense. They should be a much better defense with Salah. So you should have a lot more run friendly game scripts. I think it's a pretty good. I think it's a pretty good click. Warren, I think, is going to catch 60 balls this year, and we saw what Gainwell did. I think he was the RB 15 in points per game last year. And then Chuba Hubbard is 2 years removed from a top 12 running back season, an RB1 finish where he was sixth in broken tackles forced per attempt. Everyone points to the explosiveness thing. I don't know. He had a high ankle last year, dude. That's like a really serious injury. It's a really serious injury specifically that saps explosiveness. So I have a hard time holding that against him. CeeDee Lamb was saying he was worried his career would be altered from his high ankle last year. Yeah, so Charbonnet, again, another favorite of the free tendies. The other half of the free tendies fantasy team here. Charbonnet has been a favorite of Ted's. Picked him a bunch today. I just what's weird about Charbonnet for me and why I have kind of been avoiding him is one, I really like Tank Bigsby in the same range. I really like Jonah Coleman in the same range too. But two, I just think like depending on what way the news breaks for him, if they're like it's gonna be 8 weeks till he gets going, he's gonna drop 30 spots in ADP. And if they say he's ready to go week one, he's gonna shoot up 30 spots in ADP. So I think yeah, maybe you're getting a value, maybe you're not. Okay, so Jonah Coleman here would be a great price. That is a good price, dude. Jonah Coleman, I love that because, again, I personally don't think J.K. Dobbins finishes the year. He never has. I think Jonah Coleman projects as the early down back if he were to get there. Um, do we want to take another? So we have double hero running back here. I don't necessarily want to take another running back. We're going to stack Cade Otton with Baker Mayfield as our tight end too. And then if we swing, so 20 picks, if we get back around and we get Terrence Ferguson really late to stack with um, Terrence Ferguson to stack with Stafford, I know this is a little bit of a skimpy room as far as, I mean, not really though. I feel really good about those. Personally, I think Parker Washington's going to lead the Jags. Well, again, we'll do that when we have one of these talking about wide receiver. I think Parker Washington's going to lead the Jags in touches. So in catches. So I feel really good about that room. I think KC is the lead receiver, not counting obviously Fannin in Cleveland, and I think Travis Hunter's okay. So yeah, dude, we can do a. This is I don't normally like doing a 3-5-7, but I think we'll do a 3-5-7-3. If Terrence gets down to us, if Terrence doesn't get down to us, we're riding it out with Warren and Otten. Those are my three guys I keep grabbing down here. I would take Emmett Johnson or Jaden Blue too. And then yeah, so with Sharbs, you know, some people are saying, right? So some people in the chat that you would not take him till Thanksgiving. Totally fair, totally get it. But I would say in redraft, or you wouldn't touch him in redraft because he won't take the field till Thanksgiving. I would say in redraft though, you have an IR spot. If he's like I don't know where he's gonna go on Yahoo. I don't recall where he's going. I want to say he's going in like the 130s, 140s. So like pick 11, 12, or round 11, 12. Your pick 11, 12. If he's like your second to last pick and you're just throwing him on your IR, I think that's fine. I don't think there's a huge opportunity cost there to taking him as your running back 5, throwing him on IR, picking up like a rookie running back and seeing if he does anything. I don't hate that if that's the route you want to go, but I don't know if I would like. Some people are thinking like he's the starting running back there, and I think that's a little silly. Okay, there goes Terrence Ferguson. I wanted that Ferguson stack with Stafford really badly. I think we'll maybe just call it there for tight end. Call it at tight end or throw on a Pat Fry. I think I want to go deeper at wide receiver here. Because my running back room is so good, I'm actually going to take Wicks higher. I keep grabbing Wicks at this price range thinking he's going to catch a few long passes and maybe get some design stuff from Mannion there. I don't know, man. If Lemon is slow to get going, I think Wicks is going to be in the Braylon Allen round 16. Braylon Allen is going to be next, and Sean Tucker and Braylon Allen are pretty similar bets, I think. Remember, I'm right at the turn. I'll come back around. Okay, Wicks adds a nice little spike week potential. I am going to be really sad if I lose Braylon Allen here, though. I think he's a great value proposition as my RB5. So this is where I like getting Braylon Allen here, right? These two guys should lock it down. You should almost never need to score from him. He hits, he's going nuclear. He hits, he's going nuclear, in my opinion. And then when you need to take random scores from your room, Braylon Allen should have like 4 to 5 weeks where he scores a touchdown from the goal line. Breece Hall goes down. Braylon Allen is one of the premier handcuffs in football. The Jets' O-line is fantastic. I don't care if their offense is not that good. Their O-line's tremendous. I am pretty hyped up about the price range on Braylon. I think he should be way higher than he is. That's something that the free Tendies fantasy group is very in on. And I think you guys should be too. So this is what I'm talking about with design, right? Keep hitting on this. And I want you guys to do this in your redraft leagues too. If you're following what we're doing, you're going to be drafting double hero RB or robust RB, right? Robust RB even more so than this, because robust RB, I just wouldn't worry about the quorum archetype. Two guys, rock solid, true bell cows, league-winning upside if both of them are in the top of their game. 2 lottery tickets, but 1 lottery ticket that's usable. Blake Corum should be usable at 50% of the touches. Braylon Allen, who is, again, both a lottery ticket and usable, but Jonah Coleman and Braylon Allen, dude, if one of these 3 guys hits, this roster can make noise, I think in a pretty big way. So that's how you guys should be designing your stuff. The wide receiver room's a little different. Because I just kept taking fallers. Like, I think this is crazy. I think Drake London has the upside to be a top 5 wide receiver. Garrett Wilson was like wide receiver 4 in usage last year before he got hurt. Devontae Adams was wide receiver 7 last year in half PPR and points per game. Parker Washington had like 800 receiving yards in the last 5 games of the season for the last half of the season for the Jags. Travis Hunter, I think, plays 50% of the snaps. KC, upside rookie. Dontavian Wicks, dart throw, boom or bust. Elijah Surratt and Ted Hurst have been two of my favorite. Based on the news with Elijah Surratt, I've moved him above Ted Hurst. Been taking a lot of Tank Dell. See, there he goes, probably the Lamar manager. Been taking a lot of Tank Dell back here because it seems like no one wants him. Rashad Bateman, perfectly reasonable pick. Who stacks up here? I don't. Well, just stupid. It would be Ted Hurst who's going to play the X receiver for them. They just said that. Christian Kirk, I don't mind. And then Keenan Allen, I don't mind. I don't know. I think that's going to be one of my things this year. I think way more so than market. I'm very high on the Zach Robinson Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they're going to be way improved. I think when Baker Mayfield has played with a good play caller, he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL who's supported premium fantasy production all over the field. And nobody is giving them that sort of respect this year. And to me, it's like just a gold mine. I think you're buying a bunch of those players at their floors. With the exception of Igbuka, who you are maybe taking a bit of a leap of faith on, but it's a leap of faith I'm taking. Ted Hurst, to me, I'm obsessed with this dude's rookie tape. I am obsessed with it. He doesn't handle contact well. His footwork isn't well. It's the reason he wasn't like a really high draft pick. But his body type and his highlights are really, really interesting. I think if he gets coached up properly, like he's a real player. So I've been liking to take him uncorrelated in round 18 when I can. But with Baker Mayfield getting the coaching staff said he's going to play the X receiver there. So I will continue to take Baker Mayfield's X receiver in round 18, a rookie that might break out in the second half of the season. I hope. Oh, this guy has 5 receivers. Oh no, don't do it. Oh my God. Okay, cool. We got Ted Hurst late. That's awesome. Okay, really happy with that room. Maybe I could have left off a receiver and gone for another tight end, but the draft, Matt Stafford, Baker Mayfield, Indiana Jones at quarterback, Bijan Robinson, Josh Jacobs, Blake Corum, Jonah Coleman, Braylon Allen at running back, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Parker Washington, Casey Conception, Travis Hunter, Dontavian Wicks, and Ted Hurst at wide receiver, Tyler Warren and Kate Otten at tight end. Drafting from the 1-2 spot is an absolute cheat code. It's really, I am really hoping we don't get to the point where it is just game over if the guy in the 1-2 spot knows what they're doing. Okay, we'll rip one more. And then I promise these are going to be much more structured, not me talking like a jackass for no reason. In like starting tomorrow, if I can get the quarterback write-ups done, I just want to have like a firm rankings, a firm explanation of why, and an article to attach to each of these. And then we'll get into it. Ugh. Okay, we'll hope Puka Nacua falls. We'll take JSN. Yes, QB tier list. QBs are the easiest ones to start with, I think. And yeah, instead of like a traditional tier list video, it'll be a traditional tier list video. It'll just be us talking over a mock draft. It'd be kind of fun. Or we can do an actual like, just depends how we want to stream it. I'll talk with Ted and see what he wants to do. It'll either be this sort of format, talking over a stream, or actually sitting down. And yes, we did do a tier list a few years ago where we had Kyler Murray at 10. Kyler Murray is no longer the QB 10 for the free Tendies fantasy rankings. All right, let's get our state mandated Jackson Smith and Jigba at 5 here. Dude, I cannot pull a good pick to save my life, but this one is the worst. But in my opinion, 5 is the absolute worst spot in the whole draft. So we're probably going to, unless there's like sometimes Devon A-Chain falls to the JSN roster, which is crazy. We're probably gonna have to start double hero wide receiver. Yep. So you're praying that someone takes Drake London, AJ Brown. I do like Nico Collins though. I hope none of those guys are gone. Brock Bowers in round 2. Well, I'm really just hoping I don't have to make that decision. I don't know, I haven't done a Brock Bowers roster yet this year. Maybe I should do one. I don't think I'm gonna like how it turns out though, dude. Wow. Did that guy go double receiver at the turn? Oh, oh, I respect it. Throwback to last year when my favorite combination at the 1-2 turn was Collins and Drake London. Worked out really well for me. Everything went great. Well, here I'm going to get bailed out because he went double running back there. I'm going to get one of these guys on the fallback. I'm just going to take running back. For the record, I would have put my faith I would have put my faith in the free Tendies fantasy ranking and gone Brock Bowers there if the board had fallen right. But the two wide receivers pushes either Chase Brown or dude. That is, I know that Achan is a controversial character in some ways in the fantasy community, but like that's such a banger of a start. I've been drafting a lot of Josh Jacobs because I think he's mispriced. I don't know if I want to pull him up again. Um, Sometimes you'll get a George Pickens, Rasheed Rice, Devonta. I do consider these guys a tier break, so when they fall back, I'm pretty excited. I don't know. I kind of want to do something different just because that's such a weird fall of the board. We'll try to get Jacobs on the comeback, and we'll sort of live in this tier of wide receiver here. Then maybe Jeremiah Love, if he falls, would actually be kind of interesting. I am a little bit worried about Brees Hall. I don't know, man. Some of the dudes that had him last year have rightly pointed out like he was rotating a lot with the other two running backs before Braylon Allen went down, and Braylon Allen is a monster. I don't know if everyone's been catching the footage of him in practice. That guy is a monster. Um, I don't think that's the sort of dude that just fades away. Ooh, is this the long stretch or the short stretch? I probably should take Brees Hall here, but I don't want to keep loading up on him. It's a weird thing. I'm gonna take T Higgins. Um, I prefer T to Zay Flowers. I don't want to just keep doing the structural pick of Brees Hall at ADP. And then it would be great if one of these guys were there on the comeback. I don't think they will be, but it would be cool if they are. But yeah, I don't know. Like again, Theo Greminger, the fantasy points guys, the Roto Wire guys, they are all in on Brees Hall at the 2-3 turn. Dude, he's like his pass catching's dropped off for a couple of years in a row. He does not get automatic goal line work. The Jets are still a pretty bad team in general. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little weirded out there. Yeah, Brees does feel a little trappy. Brees does feel a little trappy. So again, like not my favorite structure doing a hero RB with Devon A Chain on Miami, but that is how I have the value here. I think Scadaboo's a really good pick in this range, just not before exactly these receivers. For me, where Scadaboo comes in is anytime after this, like exactly who I have in the queue here. I think the upside's a little too big, little too big on those ones, right? So I have a hard time, and I always hope someone takes Malik Neighbors here. Otherwise, Scadaboo would be my next pick, and I think I'm going to start mixing in Montgomery above Scadaboo, or like at least in the same tier because he profiles as a three down back on what should be at least a more run friendly offense, like with more run friendly game scripts, no injury concerns. Josh Jacobs and Josh Allen still on the board. Would I take Josh Jacobs or Josh Allen here? I think you'd have to take Josh Allen if he came down that far. But yeah, so those are my next guys here. I just would not take them before these three in best ball. Mike Evans in redraft, maybe I would take Scadaboo over him because in redraft you get him a little later. I don't know. In best ball, I think he's a pretty great pick. What about Luther Burden? I have Luther Burden in front of Jamison Williams and well. No, I have Luther Burden kind of around there. I'd have to decide. I'd really have to think about it, dude. I don't know if he's going to get the volume to justify where he's going, and I think Devontae Adams could catch 10 touchdowns. Holy shit. Josh Allen falling like a rock. Oh, am I going to get... Oh, there he goes. Oh, come on. Don't take Josh Jacobs from me. I was so excited for a minute. Come on. Let me get the running back. That would be such a good price on Josh Jacobs. Yes. Yes. Oh, awesome, dude. Josh Jacobs is not going to be a fourth round pick in like a few weeks. Josh Jacobs is going to be a 25 to 30th pick when this news breaks the right way. I think you're getting like a 15 pick price discount on him right now. That is awesome. That is awesome. Have the steady Eddie wide receiver with real ceiling, and then you have the boomer bust wide receiver. I guess I could look for the Joe Burrow stack here. Yeah, the furthest I've seen that might be the latest Josh Allen I've ever seen. And what did the guy get? Amon-Ra St. Brown, Derrick Henry, Kyron Williams, Josh Allen. Fantastic start. Good for you, sir. Should I go late robust RB if one of these guys falls? I actually totally would go late robust RB if one of these guys falls. Take one of these dudes. I want to keep chasing what I think is pretty crazy upside on this roster. So for me, that's going to be Christian Watson is who I'd like to stack in there, and then if not him, DeAndre Swift. I don't know why Devontae Adams is sliding a little bit into the mid-fifth round, dude. If that happens, I'm going to keep taking him. I would encourage every single person. If you play in a half PPR league, and if it's double flex or start three wide receivers especially, but even if it's one flex, you need to be taking Devontae Adams every single time you possibly can in the fifth round. In no way whatsoever should the wide receiver 7 from the year before, who could catch 15 touchdowns, who plays in their 13 personnel in the red zone of the best offense in football, should he be sliding that far? I think Bucky Irving I like better in a vacuum. DeAndre Swift. Baishal Tootin I think has a higher upside, but because of the double hero build, I want Christian Watson here. Give us some real pop there in our wide receiver room. I'm willing to do a Joe Burrow Chase stack if it comes down to it. Again, Ted hates Parker Washington. I know a lot of people do. I'm very high on Parker Washington personally. That's also just who tends to slide back here. So if Joe Burrow goes, we're going to take one of those guys, one of those wide receivers, and actually I'm willing to go premium tight end too. We'll see how that goes. This may be where I end up having the choice that we have quite the disagreement about in the old content team between Tony Pollard, Jalen Warren, and Chuba Hubbard. Tony Pollard is boring volume. Jalen Warren, in my opinion, actually has 50, 60 catch upside. So that I view him as the upside swinger. Ted and the fantasy points data guys, for what it's worth, the sharpest guys in the industry, view Chuba Hubbard as the upside swing in this range. I don't know. we're gonna see. We're gonna see what how we adjudicate that when the time comes. For me personally, I have it like that. I have it Jalen Warren, Tony Pollard, Chuba Hubbard. I haven't been taking enough Odunze this year. I don't think he's going to get back to me, but we'll go Odunze. And I'm Jordan Tyson. I actually do have these guys, I think, in just a little bit different of a risk reward ratio than these two. So those two are clearly above for me. I have been taking a lot of Parker Washington, so maybe I would take Marvin Harrison. I don't think they're going to come back to me, though. Actually, because this is a longer stretch. No, none of those guys are going to be there. If I take Joe Burrow, that's what I'm taking, and I do think I'm going to take Joe Burrow. I hate taking a guy with no rushing upside at this early, but I like him with the T. Higgins stack. And I like being able to get Gesicki at the end of drafts. I think he's a good value. I think Gesicki's a really good throw-in guy. Yeah, okay. Almost pick 70, Joe Burrow. That feels pretty good. And then I actually like stacking. Will we get a shot at Malik Willis here? So yeah, 125, we can reach on Malik Willis a little bit, and that'll give us rushing upside with Joe Burrow. And then I like the ooh, it's not going to be good for bye weeks. I like the stack with Devon Achane and Malik Willis. I actually think that's a real stack, considering like, dude, Devon Achane could get 140 targets this year. So like Christian McCaffrey got 129 last year, I think. So I think that's a real stack. Like that should be treated like a quarterback wide receiver stack. Okay, I think we may bypass the running back decision altogether. We only have three wide receivers here. I'd like to get a fourth one down. Or go Tucker Kraft so we can stack up Watson, Jacobs, and Love. Do we want Tucker Kraft so we can stack? I don't want to reach on. No, you'd have to hope he gets down to 116, and he hasn't been getting that far. I don't like that. Okay, I prefer Pierce to Metcalf. Prefer Tony Pollard to Chuba Hubbard. I think we're going to go Alec Pierce there. And Ted's going to light me up in a second. That would have been an easy Chuba Hubbard for Ted. For me, it was a structural pick. I actually had Chuba as my top running back on the board. I want four good wide receivers at this point in the draft. Okay, so my favorite guy, I've just kept taking him. I think his ADP is going to shoot up. It's just a matter of when, not if. Is I just keep taking Ricky Pearsall at this range. Now that's 92. That's a little bit aggressive for Pearsall, but I could try to swing. So what is this? 92 and 101. I could try to get the Purdy Pearsall stack here late. I think DK Metcalf, if he falls, would be a pick for me. I think Chris Godwin's pretty well priced down here. Chuba, if he keeps falling, I certainly will take. There he goes. Yeah, DK is the kind of guy that I will never ever take in redraft, but I will take in best ball as a throw-in wide receiver. Personally, and I know that you also disagree with this, dude, but personally, I would be. I think Pittman leads their wide receiver room this year. Okay, do I want to try to take? This is a tough one because I really, really like the price on Godwin. I really like RJ Harvey. I think RJ Harvey is very undervalued at this point. But I love the idea of stacking Purdy and Pearsall here and just having a great floor room. I think we're gonna chase the late Purdy Pearsall stack. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Okay, fingers crossed Pearsall comes back around to us. Sam Laporta I like in this range. J.K. Dobbins I'll consider here, but I have the double hero, which means I usually prefer Brooks. And then Kenny Gainwell and Rashad White are both on the board for me here later. And actually, I don't mind Worthy or Wilson or Pittman at this range, but it's going to be how we have that. So again, dude, Ted, I'm telling you, man, it is not that the Brooks discourse is not damaging Chuba. That's not what happened. What happened was Chuba got hurt, and people think that's just the new Chuba from last year. He was dead last in explosive play rate in the NFL, and that Chuba's always been perceived as a volume play, right? He's I think that's what it is. Brooks was the guy that Texas went out and got following Bijan Robinson. Like Brooks was the guy that follows this lineage of running backs there. It's really, really good. People thought Brooks was going to be like a league defining running back, right? And so much so that off an ACL, they took him in the second round. So much so that they let Rico Dowdle walk for a few $1 million a year. They just benched Chuba Hubbard. I think that's what it is, dude. I don't think it's that Chuba's stock is down. Oh, Ricky Pearsall one pick before. just so you hate me, we're gonna take Jonathan Brooks there. Okay. Harold Fannin, if he comes back, excellent. George Kittle, if he comes back to stack with Brock Purdy, excellent. I like Wandale a lot at this price range. Yeah. Yeah, I know Laporta was there. I'm hoping to get Kittle on the comeback. But yes, I actually think Laporta is a great price. I just wanted to stack Kittle with Purdy. That's all it was. Because I took Purdy there thinking I would get Pearsall on the comeback, and I didn't get him. Doesn't look like I'm going to get Kittle either. Need a run on quarterback to go down. I would have gotten Love on the comeback. Damn it, if I had gotten Kraft, I would have gotten Love. I'd rather have Kraft and Love than Pierce and Purdy. Well, yeah, I don't know about that actually. Okay, there goes Pitts, but a lot of these guys, this guy's a zero tight end guy. Maybe he's going George Kittle there. We'll go Wandale if not. It's not ideal, but I'll do it. Yeah, okay. Get a little George Kittle Purdy stack. Okay, I will take any of those receivers I just think are pretty fairly priced in this range. God, dude, where is Shaheed going? Did he already go? No way. Oh my God. Okay, what is he all the way at? Like 119. Jeez, dude. Okay, Shahid is taking off like a rocket. I think he deserves to. I was actually going to look for him here. I think that's the right thing. I think he should be rising in price like crazy. That's a bummer. I would have loved to throw Shahid in this room, have those big spike weeks. Romeo Dobbs is kind of the poor man's Rashid Shaheed. I'll take Jaden Higgins if they're gone. I just want one of these receivers in this range to throw in here. I don't think any of them are really anything that earth shattering. Okay. KC Concepcion. Love getting a first round wide receiver rookie, 7 pecks past ADP. May go for a nice reinforcing. See, okay, so I also think that's correct. Goddard is going above Dalton Kincaid in this range of guys. I think that's right. I think he should be. We'll see. I will mess around with any of those tight ends, but probably on my second pick at this range, unless Kincaid or Likely's there. I'll take Kincaid or Likely if they're there. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about Kittle and redraft. I think I would just rather take. I think I'd rather just take Andrews, not worry about the injury. I think Goddard to me is like Goddard's becoming my favorite tight end to draft at cost. Chris Rodriguez, I kind of want to keep betting that he is going to win this starting role, and he's sliding. Oh, there he goes. He's sliding behind ADP. Little Keaton Mitchell boom potential here, but I would not take him before those two. Ooh, okay. I did not expect either of these guys to be here. Do I want Dalton Kincaid or Isaiah Likely? I think I'll just go ahead and take the dude attached to Josh Allen. That's a great price on that. Okay. Now I'm pretty happy with that room. Now, okay. I've been taking a lot of Jonah Coleman lately. Do I want to take another share? Do I want Isaiah Pacheco for some floor? Jonah Coleman, Woody Marks. I think I'd like to add a running back here. Although Stephon Diggs or Omar Cooper. What do I want to do? I think I want to build out the wide receiver room a little bit more. So I think we'll go Stephon Diggs and Omar Cooper. Unless Isaiah Likely is really going to slide 20 picks past ADP, then I'm just going to go robust tight end. Okay, there we go. I have a late pick Gesicki, so I'm not going to take Brenton Strange as much as I love taking him here. I will take Omar Cooper, though, if he's on the board, and if not, it's going to be whatever one of these three guys is there. Again, fellas, I think that is a thing for best ball. I don't think it's a thing for redraft, but I think that is a thing for best ball to keep taking these rookie first round wide receivers late. Bang. Ooh, another tight end slide. Let's go. We'll totally take a super late Aronde Gadsden. There you go. So two guys I think everyone is still sleeping on at this range, Dylan Sampson and Alvin Kamara. Been totally crushing them, especially in a build like this. I'll throw either one of those guys on there. Dylan Sampson I think is just like a bye-week filler. You know, he's going to catch some passes. He had a good yards per route run. Alvin Kamara I think probably gets traded, but even if he does, and actually the Bengals have been a team they've been talking about that too. But even if he doesn't get traded, I think he's probably just too cheap where he is. He's going to catch 30, 40 balls at worst if he's on the Saints this year. So I like throwing either of those guys in late here, especially to round out a room like this. If there's like a particularly good wide receiver on the board that I could still use, I would do it. But I don't really know. Oh, no, the 49ers rookie is gone. All right, take Samson or Kamara. I can't wait to sarcastically end my redraft drafts with last round Kamara and then have it actually matter this year. Because that's how fantasy works. Okay, what do we want here? Those two guys are big upside swings, so we'll just take some floor, some weekly floor. So what do we have? So that can be Gesicki and Christian Kirk. Take Gesicki, 97, Christian Kirk, last pick. So this will be our last pick before that. Prefer it to be a wide receiver, I think. But if Kamara's there, we'll take him. Guess I should have checked if there was quarterbacks. Throwing in Geno Smith and Omar Cooper Jr. Okay, no. We're taking an unstacked AJ Barner, 15 packs past ADP. That's crazy. Okay. Yeah, that's wild. Maybe I should have just taken Geno Smith there. I don't know. Sean Tucker, Braylon Allen. Christian Kirk. Okay, we'll go Geno Smith. And then Christian Kirk there. I don't know. I don't like 6 running back builds with double hero RB. Wes from our Discord says the UFC event cost him $600. Sir, if you bet $600 on Conor McGregor's return, I cannot help you. You get exactly what you pay for. I do feel horrible that he got hurt. It's one of the worst moments in the history of the sport, but goddamn, man. Came back against Max Holloway off the couch. But I am sorry you lost your money. That sucks. Okay, I don't normally like a 3-6-7-3, but I'm pretty happy with this one. I think you have a really nice high floor here. Like, I think the tight end room has plenty of ceiling, plenty of floor. I love those 3 wide receivers, and then you're just hoping one of these goofballs gets it together every week. And then if Brooks or Tanks Bigsby, or if Dylan Sampson hits, you have a banger roster here. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so bookkeeping for this week, we're gonna keep doing these as we finalize tiers and like have stuff that's more organized to talk to everyone about. Because again, I'm just using these for like videos to put out there to discuss our rankings ahead of the season. It's just more interesting than staring at a PowerPoint and listening to someone talk. So these will be more organized, more on topic as we get going. Appreciate anyone who checks them out. And I feel like these have been pretty good drafts, the ones that we've done on stream here. I'm going to be really happy if we end this out with Christian Kirk and Brock Purdy. Let's go. All right, so there's the final roster. Joe Burrow, Brock Purdy, Geno Smith. Maybe an unnecessary Geno Smith, but he was pretty well behind ADP. Devon Achane, Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Brooks, Tank Bigsby, Dylan Sampson. In the running back room, then JSN, T. Higgins, Christian Watson, Alec Pierce, Casey Concepcion, Omar Cooper, Christian Kirk in the wide receiver room. I love that wide receiver room a lot. And then George Kittle, Dalton Kincaid, AJ Barner. I think that's a really strong room. Almost all taken, actually all of them taken past ADP. 2 of them taken well past ADP. So really unique roster. I like this one a lot. Anyway, so that's going to be it for this, guys. Like I said, this will be more organized, more on point. We'll have one where we talk about our QB tiers and stuff, tight end tiers and whatnot, running back rankings, wide receiver rankings, and different draft strategies. We'll just sort of keep bumping them out while the puppies are going. So thank you guys so much for your time. Checking out the video. Join our Discord, which is going to be linked in the comments, and try to take my money if you think I draft like a dork. Have a good one. See you later.